Right? See, the thing about the streets is, and coming from the streets is, I never felt like I could do anything other than be a hustler, a ball player, or a rapper. Yeah. Right. I'm talking about I stopped going to school at 14 to just start hustling, hitting licks. So I get to prison, and I remember the white guy telling me just, yo, y'all playing the wrong game. You can't work 24 hours. Yeah. Your money can. Yeah. How dope is this? I go from being a hustler to making $120,000 a year. But I'm working 6-7 days a week, 12, 14 hours a day. I revert back to this, I'm trading time for money. Every time I buy a stock or every time I buy something, I'm buying back my time. If I can own my 24 hours, then I can do what the hell I want to do in this world, even if I don't want to do nothing. And so the vision of Wall Street has always been, you know, the old white guys with the suit and ties on, pulling up. And so now we make it cool to invest in the stock market with hoodies on. And I said, that's my purpose. That's it.
Pay attention, listen, we about to teach class. Inside the vault, my man Ask Cash. So get your man right. Thursday nights, 8 p.m. you see him, we change your life. Millionaire mindset, the best on earth. Blueprints of wealth, the knowledge network. So get it while you can, and he's standing right here. Just come inside the vault and see black millionaires. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Come inside the vault and see black millionaires. Oh yeah, oh yeah. You won't ask cash, you can catch it right here in the vault.
All right, so welcome to another awesome episode of Inside the Vault with Ash Cash. This is the greatest, biggest money mindset show on the planet. And I got the biggest, greatest Wall Street trapper, the biggest trap. Listen. When I tell you that this is going to be a powerful interview, I've been looking forward to this interview. You know, we got the one, the only, the biggest, the
good,
big
King.
trap.
What's good, King?
Yo,
What's
in
good,
the building,
King?
man.
Good,
Yo,
King?
Man, I'm so excited, man, to have this interview because I mean we were talking offline, and one of the things that I just appreciate, right, about the game. And where the game is right now is that I started my journey 2009, wrote my first book, and when I started, the goal was to reach the community, right? Mm-hmm. But a lot of times when I was trying to talk about money, people were like, "Nah, yo, you gotta throw a suit on, you gotta look this way, you gotta talk this way because nobody's gonna take you serious if you talk about money and not have this suit on." And now we fast forward, right? Over 10 years later. Like Wall Street looks like us.
Fact, man.
Literally and figuratively, Wall Street looks like us. And so, I am proud. Like I love your story. And so we're gonna get into all of that. But before we get there, for the people who, you live under a rock if they don't know who Wall Street Trapper is. But for the people who don't know you, who is Wall Street Trapper?
Man, first and foremost, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate you for having me here. Appreciate the team. It was great, man. So Wall Street Trap is this, I grew up in New Orleans, right? Saw my moms get shot when I was 9. Wow. Like I saw it, like maybe like 150 yards away from me. Wow. And from there, that like just shifted my life in a lot. That was my introduction to gun violence. That was my introduction to the hood. That was my introduction to the streets. And I remember my mom telling me one time, my son gonna learn the game regardless, so I might as well give it to him. Right? Like just think about that. And think about this idea of where I lived at. We lived in a spot, it was 1801 St. Rock Street. A graveyard was on the left and a Nord Park was in the front of me. Like think about that, sir. Think about that, right? So that's why I'm living that. So I grew up with that. And then after I saw my moms get shot, maybe 6-7 months later, she catches a charge for shooting somebody. Wow. And then she got shot again. Wow. And then she go to prison. And then I lose my grandmother. And then I'm homeless. Like this happens in a few years. So like by the time I'm 13, I done experienced all of this. Wow. Right? Yeah. And so for me, it was like, all right, like, I gotta figure this out. So I used the tools that my mother gave me. My grandmother was an entrepreneur. She was the first person I literally saw buy a block. So she bought a block. She used to sell fruit. She had a produce company, Taylor's Produce. So she bought the block, and this was like, as I got older, I thought like, yo, this is dope. So she bought the block, and then she charged other like people who sold fruit, people sold hot tamales. She charged them rent to be on the block. Right? And I was like, oh, that's crazy. Like, that's hard. You know what I'm saying? So I come from that hustler culture. Whether it was illegal or legal, I came from it. So in my mind, I was just already predestined to be a hustler. Right? 16, I go to prison for attempt murder on robbery. Right? I shoot a man, but he robbed me. So like in the streets, and a lot of people may not understand it, but in the streets, there's this thing where it's like, if I let you rob me, then I may not hustle no more because everybody can rob me. So it makes no sense. I'm free game. So I had to like set the tone, like, yo, like, don't play with me at all costs, right? So I get to prison, and while I'm in prison, I meet this guy. So I get jumped by two of my supposed to be homies, right? So I get jumped. We have that whole fight. We in the cell, fight for like 3 hours, man, because ain't no sergeants, ain't no guards. It's straight just get it how you live. And so I go to the hole, and I'm in the cell with this white guy, and I get in the cell, and I remember just being frustrated, like, man, like, I ain't finished, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't tripping, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I feel like they got the best of me, but I'm just like, I ain't finished, like, nah, like, I want some more of that. I want that action, you know what I'm saying? And I remember the white guy telling me just, yo, y'all playing the wrong game. And that caught me off guard, because just in prison, there's this, like, don't talk to me, fam. Like, you don't know me. We come from 2 different parts of the world. Like, don't talk to me. But later on, I realized, like, God, like, planted a seed in me in that moment. Right? And to win a 4-man cell, and inside of that cell, normally there's 4 people come in, but it's just me and him. And he's like, man, I don't mean no disrespect. I don't mean no harm, but y'all playing the wrong game. And I was like, but you ain't here with me. So what game you playing, fam?
Right.
And so again, I'm from New Orleans, so I had a red band on. And so a red band represents attempt murder, armed robbery, capital offense, capital violent offense. And so he had on a red and white band. So that means he's on a federal offense, right? So he going to the feds. It's crazy because in jail, like, feds is like, a fed trust like a type of hierarchy. Like you know something that we don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like, you in college and we low. So I see the band and I'm like, damn, like immediately I'm like, oh, he might know something. You know what I'm saying? And so he was like, I'm like, well, what you in here for? Because in prison, you can say whatever you want to say, but your paperwork tells me exactly what you in here for. So he was like, man, I'm in here for embezzlement. So I took $2.8 million from a business I worked for, paid restitution at $800,000. I kept $2 million. I'm like, you lying. In my mind, I've thought of those numbers. I heard them in rap music, but I ain't never saw them numbers before. So he pulled out his rap sheet and he showed me. And I see, the first time I ever saw the 7 digits with a comma and a comma. And I was like, oh. And so then he tells me, I can almost guarantee you hit in for something less than $100,000. I was like, damn, you're right. So then we start so at that moment now, the respect barrier has been gained, right? Like, and so people always say, like, there's no honor amongst thieves, none of that. Gain, respect, gain.
Absolutely.
Anywhere across the world.
Big facts,
Right? Gain, respect, gain. And real dudes who in the street always want a way out.
For sure.
But we don't know no way out. We don't see no way out. Nobody teach us a way out, and nobody speak the language. So he was like, listen, man, wealthy people do 3 things, man. And if you learn these 3 things, it'll change your life. Stop trading time for money. Start making money work for you. And then give as much value to people as you can. Because if you give value to people, you'll be wealthy forever.
It's a big bar.
Stuck with me. At the time, I get it. Remember, he has now set the status quo for me for money and everything. Like, so now I'm 16. I'm hanging on to his every word. Like, every word he say, I'm like, that's gonna get me to the 2 million?
Word.
That's what I'm gonna do? And so as we continue to talk, he tells me that what wealthy people do is stocks, start a business, and then get into real estate. So those are 6 principles he gave me during the course of like 45 days that we're in a cell together. And then he goes to the feds, and then I go upstate. And so I spent the rest of my time in prison learning stocks because that was the first thing he told me.
Yeah.
Had he told me real estate first,
Right.
I'd probably be the real estate traveler.
Facts,
you know what I'm
facts.
saying?
Facts,
You
facts.
feel me? But
Yeah.
he told me stocks.
Yeah.
And so once I got into stocks, I understood the consumerism concept behind that. I understood that almost everything that we wear or consume is on the stock market. And so the easiest way to transition from consumer to owner to producer to changing that mindset is saying, just let me start with owning what I consume. Now the game gets deeper, it gets more, more perplexed.
For sure.
But if I can start owning what I consume, the mindset changes. Right? So now mind you, I'm in prison, so dudes love The Young and the Restless, dudes love The Price is Right.
Yep.
This is like a ritual.
Right.
Like, so I would have to get up in the morning before The Price is Right came on and watch CNBC. And so I'm listening to Warren Buffett, I'm listening to these people, and it sounds like Chinese to me, right? But the thing is, you gotta get uncomfortable to get to the place where you need to go, right? You gotta get uncomfortable. Like, you gotta say, I gotta start unlearning some of this other stuff. I gotta start making withdrawals for the other stuff so I can deposit the good stuff. I gotta start making deposits that's gonna help me, you know what I'm saying, be better. So I'm just listening to it. And then I remember the first book I got into was Robert Kiyosaki's Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
Yeah.
Now, it's not so much as an investment book, but it helped me change my mindset
sure.
on money and how I saw the world. Like, at this point, I had never even understood what an asset and a liability is. Like, I'm talking low level stuff.
Right.
I'm talking about I stopped going to school at 14 to just start hustling, hitting licks. Like, that's where I was at. So you talking assets and liabilities. I'm like, we talking money or we talking, I don't know what all that is, bro. So for me to go from there to like, I get it, I understand, right? So just repetitive. And then as I went to read, and I was like, yo, like, this is a game changer, right? And so one of the most powerful things I heard was you want to hide something from black people, put it in a book. That statement was so true because once I started reading, I developed an addiction for it. Like, that's kind of what kept me out of a lot of BS in prison because I was learning so much. I was like, nah, like, this is crazy. Like, why they ain't teaching me this? Why they don't want me to know this? And then so it dawned on me as I look around prison. So I went from minimum security to maximum security. I realized that we were the majority. And so once I realized there's a reason they can't teach us this. If they teach us this, we can never get to their level. Right? The slave master never taught the slaves how to eat in a big house. The lion never taught the zebra or the gazelle how to get away. What I'm gonna eat. Right? What I'm gonna eat. I can't teach you this. If you learn it, cool. If you try to teach it, most people not gonna get it because we done taught them so much. We done taught them how to be slaves. Right? We done made being slaves their birthright. They accept it. They accept low level thinking. We'll never teach them their value, so we can always give them less. So I'm like, damn. So that once I started opening up to that, like the whole idea of wealth, like I started being like, oh, I can achieve it, I can do it. But the hard part was coming home. Right? So I have this huge epiphany. I know what my life wanna be like, right? I know what I wanna do. Like, I'm going home and I'm about to be the next Warren Buffett, yo. You feel me? I'm about to be the next Bill Ackman. I'm about to kill it. And then you come home and you don't got nothing. Like Mike Tyson say, man, everybody got a plan until they get punched in the face. Right? So I'm like, okay, boom, I get punched in the face. What I'm gonna do? I might go back to hustling. That's what makes sense. That's what I know how to do. Right? So I get back in the streets, I start back hustling. Within about 6 months, like I'm popping, I'm like, okay, cool, we good. Like, all right, let me start investing a little though. Cause I ain't acquire all that for nothing. Right? So in the streets, I never was the flamboyant dude. Right? Cause I always wanted to have lawyer money. I always wanted to have bond money. Right? So I'm putting money in the market, I'm investing. I don't know what the hell I'm doing, but I'm doing it. And so now I'm talking to my partners about it. Like, bro, like if we win Louis Vuitton, we can buy this company on the stock market, LVMUY. If we win Nike, we can buy it on the stock market. If we win Tim's and Dickies all day, we can buy VFC Corporation, bro. They own Tim's, they own Dickies, they own Vans. Like, let's do that. But my partner's not really understanding it at the time. Cause again, I ain't mad at him though. Cause I'm still you. I'm from you. I come from what you come from. I seen what you seen. We done hit some licks together. We done all that. We done slept in the same bandos together. I get it. Yeah. So I catch another charge. Feds kicking my door. The narcs kicking my door in. 10 pounds of weed, $10,000, 223, 40 with extended clip in the beam. I'm like, damn. I did all that. I only been home 2 years. So everything I had worked for, it was gone. They seized my truck, they did everything. The crazy part was, they didn't check my investment account. I said, oh, y'all don't even play me to be this smart. Y'all don't even play me to be this smart. I get it. So I do one of the things that everybody do when they go to jail. God, you get me out of this one, I'm gonna do right. I'm gonna hold it down. I got it, because I got it. I got it. He get me out of that one. I get found out guilty, fruit of a poisonous tree, right? So that means when they kick my door in, they don't have no search warrants or nothing, right? But they still got everything out of there, but because they didn't have a search warrant, everything is null and void. If that ain't God, I don't know what is.
That's a big blessing.
Right? Because I'm gone. That's a convicted felon with 2 pistols. They don't even care about the weed at that point. That's an easy 20 years. Yo, you out of here. I got you where I want you at. So I come home. I'm like, all right, good. But I'm broke again. But I got some money that's still in the market, but I don't really want to touch that. So now I'm like, all right, we just gonna rob dudes. We just gonna rob hustlers. Right? So streets gave me a code. Like, you never rob a working man, you never rob a woman, you never rob a child. But if somebody hustling, they fair game. You sell a nickel bag, you fair game. Like, it is what it is. Mind you, I went to prison because someone robbed me. Right? Put a Mag 11 on my face, took it. So I'm like, all right, cool, that's what we doing then, right? So I get into that mode, and me and my homie, maybe about 4 months in, like, I was a lick specialist. Like, we going out of town, and we just cutting up, and we almost got killed. My homie saved my life, man. Dude put a 12 gauge to me, he had me down bad. And at that point, I went to my home, I'm like, bro, that's a wrap. Like, I can't keep winning. Like, I can't keep winning this. It's only a matter of time, bro, and I got too much I need to be doing. So my homie like, man, you tripping, man? Nah, that's part of the game, man. Like, you good, that's part of the game. We good, like, you tripping, because I had a mind for it. And I'll never forget one of my homies in prison told me, you got too much potential, stop leading people the wrong way. People follow you for nothing. They just follow you, got that. Don't lead them the wrong way. Don't be a shepherd. Don't be a sheep, be a shepherd. So I called it off, and I remember going to my house, and I was like, all right, Allah, like what you want me to do, though? Like, I don't know. This what I do. This what I'm bred to this. My grandma went to the feds. My mom, like, I'm a career. It's in my bloodline to do this. Again, man, you playing the wrong game. And so I got a job working as an iron worker, building stadiums, power plants. How dope is this? I go from being a hustler to making $120,000 a year. No, with a GED, no nothing. Just, I built the Falcon Stadium. I'm building stadiums around the world. I'm building power plants. So I'm like, oh, okay, cool. I get into that, but I'm working 6, 7 days a week, 12, 14 hours a day. I revert back to this. I'm trading time for money.
Which is a lesson you learned.
It's a lesson. That's why I said at that moment, like, the seeds was planted. So now we got to be able to go back on them lessons that we learned. Stop looking at the destination and appreciate the journey. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, all right, cool. Like, I got to do something else, but I'm making this money. But at this time, I'm really making money that hustlers make. But I'm just trading too much of my time. So I'm like, all right, so this is what I'm about to do. I'm going to buy back my time. So I went to living off literally 30% of my money, investing 70% of my money in the stock market. Like, just like, I ain't tripping. I ain't broke, I'm investing. I ain't broke. I'm just like dumping it in there. And I'm telling myself, every time I buy a stock or every time I buy something, I'm buying back my time. If I could own my 24 hours, then I could do what the hell I want to do in this world, even if I don't want to do nothing. So my goal at that point was like, all right, let me just buy back as much of my time as I can. Let me just keep buying it. And so a friend of mine, her name is Akila, she just watched my Breakfast Club interview. She said she had just made $1 million. And she told me, she said, man, I got this financial advisor, because I should tell all my friends about it. Like, yo, we got to invest in these stocks, like this the lake, but nobody won't talk about that. So she tells me she got a financial advisor. But like, man, let me see what he got you in, man. And I'm just looking at all these mutual funds. I'm like, it's trash. This trash. He making money off this. He making money off this. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. She like, so what should I buy? I'm like, get this, get this, get this, get this. So she goes to her financial advisor, tells him that. He like, where you get that from?
Right.
How do you know that?
Yeah.
She's like, nah, get rid of it. So she calls me back and she was like, yo, like, you need to start an Instagram page. So I can do what? And teach that. Because you knew it to a level where my financial advisor questioned me.
Right.
The way he questioned me knew that I knew I was doing something right.
Yeah.
I was like, you serious?
Yeah.
So she was like, yeah. I'm like, all right. You know, you brush it off.
Yeah.
One of my other homies I'm in the street with, he doing something. I'm like, nah, bro, like, we gotta get this Nike stock. And he had just bought like some bottles of Hen and something like, yo, you know, you can own that from LVMH, Louis Vuitton, Moet Hennessy. He was like, bro, like, and he told, this what made me start the Instagram. Yeah. He says, you're a nerd in a street dude body, bro.
Yeah, facts, yeah.
I'm like, what? He's like, nah, bro, like, you a nerd in a street dude body.
Yeah.
And then like I put the two and two together and I go back home. I remember going to Office Depot, buying a whiteboard, and it just, I wrote on a whiteboard, Wall Street Trapper. Yeah. And I said, this is what I gotta do. Yeah. And so at that point, I remember telling my cousin, I said, bruh, I think I found my purpose. And he was like, what? I said, I think I can teach the culture about stocks. I said, but I ain't for everybody. Yeah. I just want to teach it to the streets. Yeah. So I went to the streets. I went back in New Orleans to all my homies on the block, and I went to saying, instead of teaching them about stocks, I went to telling them, what do we do if we go to jail? You go to jail, you get out of jail, what money you have? You go to jail, you got to do a bid, what do you leave your kids? I said, we being selfish. I can't tell you get out of the streets because I'm from them, but let's stop being selfish. Let's start putting our people in play. And so that was the moment my partner started getting into it. So all my homies in the street, they own some type of stocks at that point. And then I knew that's the transition. And so that was the birth of the Wall Street Trapper, man.
That's
that was the birth.
Hey, listen, it's Ash Cash, and I want to get straight to the point. If you want to change your money mindset so you can live your best financial life, then check out Mind Right Money Academy, the greatest money mindset financial education platform in existence. With Mind Right Money Academy, you'll get access to online programs that help build your money mindset first and foremost, but you'll also get practical tips on credit, starting a thriving business, learning the basics of investing, real estate, life insurance, estate planning, social media marketing, book writing, and so much more. We even have programs that help you manage your money as a family, how to thrive in your 9-to-5 if you have one, or how to diversify your income as an entrepreneur. You'll hear from some of my millionaire friends on how they got to where they are with actionable steps on how you can implement what they did in your life. And we'll have weekly coaching calls on different topics that will help you get to the next level. You'll get access to our members only group so you can find accountability partners and build your money team. You'll get discounts to premium content and live events. We even have a book club with assigned readings and discussions each month. We'll also give you access to Mind Right Radio, the VIP section, which is our 24/7 inspirational radio station. So I want to give you this special invitation to help grow your wealth consciousness and ultimately your wealth. So make sure you go to mindrightmoneyacademy.com. It's free for 7 days, so you have no excuse. Check it out. And if you like it, then it's $47 per month, and you could cancel anytime. But I promise you, you'll get so much value that you won't even fathom the thought. So head over there now, mindrightmoneyacademy.com, and I'll see you on the other side. You know, and I love that story because you know, so many things that we could unpack from that. Right? But I love the story because, you know, number one, you were a product of what you knew, right? And so, you know, it started from your bloodline, so you know, you're a product of that. But then, you know, you kept bumping your head, product. But then you made a decision, though, right? It was in making that decision, which the first decision was like, you know what, God ain't gonna keep saving me, and I'm gonna keep going through the same thing, right?
That's right.
But then even after being saved, you could have easily took that 100 bands,
right,
that you were making from,
right,
build using your hands, trading your time for money, and said, you know what, this is better. You could have settled, right? You could have said, yo, this is better than what I was doing before, but you remembered something that was said to you that said, yo, stop trading your time for money, right? Or stop trading your time for money, and then now keep owning. And so now, fast forward, right? You are the face of the culture, right?
Yeah.
You are the face of the culture. Talk to me a little bit about sort of like that feeling, man. That feeling of saying that you know what your purpose is, and then actually being able to fulfill that purpose, to live that purpose, and like before your eyes, a lot of the things you thought about are like manifesting. Like how does that feel to be at this space?
Man, it's like unreal.
Yeah.
Because I come from being homeless at 13.
Yeah.
You know, my goal wasn't never to be the face of anything. My goal was to survive tomorrow. Yeah. Like, I need to get the next meal. Yeah. Right? I need to see where the next dollar coming from. Yeah. So to go from that situation to now saying, let me breathe life into you, bro. Yeah. Like, I ain't trying to tell you get out the streets. I'm just showing you a different route. Yeah. Right? I can't teach you how to get rich quick, but I can teach you how to build wealth. Yeah. Right? And so here's the dope part about purpose. I thought Wallstreet Trapper was my purpose. And then I remember not long ago, maybe about a month and a half ago, I'm in the shower and I'm like, God, how can I serve you better? You've given me everything. I've helped thousands of people. My daughter is good. I paid my mom's house off. Like, how can I serve you more? Because it ain't about me no more. And I get quiet. So one of the things I practice is just getting quiet. Yeah. A lot of times we pray, we go to God, we do the talking. Right. And then the Wallstreet looks like us now came to me. And I said, that's my purpose. That's it. Yeah. And what that represents is we can now, I remember having a conversation with you before this, and you said, I had to have the suits on. Yeah. I had to have that, because if I don't have that on, people don't respect me. Yeah. Or they don't respect what I'm talking about when it comes to money. Yeah. And so the vision of Wallstreet has always been, you know, the old white guys with the suit and ties on, pulling up. And so now we make it cool to invest in the stock market with hoodies on. Yeah. We make it cool to invest in the stock market with Air Force Ones on that you also own.
Absolutely, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
We make it cool to invest in the stock market with tank tops on. Right? So now Wallstreet looks like us now. Right, so now what happens is the imagery of what Wallstreet and what wealth looks like, it changes. And so now if that image can change, then now everybody can say, oh, I could do that. Yeah. Right, see, the thing about the streets is, and coming from the streets is, I never felt like I could do anything other than be a hustler, a ball player, or a rapper. Yeah. Right, wasn't tall enough, wasn't fast enough to play ball, wasn't really into rapping, so hustling was what it was. Right. And so all the hustlers around me got more money, had more respect than anybody I knew working. Yeah. So for me, it was why waste time trying to do that when this is the imagery that I know I want to be like. Absolutely, This is what a respect is. Yeah. Everybody respected the hustler, right? Everybody respected the hustler. Yeah. Even the police respected the hustler. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So I want that respect. Yeah. So for me now to say the hustlers respect me, like for me, it's different for me. Right. Like I respect everybody in the financial literacy space, but it's different for me. Right. Yeah. Like I know what they talking about. I know what they look like. I know what's going through their brain. Right. I know you want to get out, but you don't know another way. Right. I know you want to do something with that money, but ain't nobody told you. Yeah. Right? I know that. Yeah. So for me, it's like, if I can turn them, if I can get them, because it's always more us than them. Facts. Yeah. It's more us than them. Facts. Nobody is rich without us. Yeah. No wealthy family is wealthy without our money. Yeah. Right? So how do I change that? How do I now say every generation is now responsible for 2 generations because the money and the knowledge is not there? I created this thing called family SOPs, right? That every family has to have in place, right? So wealthy people would not only pass down money, but they pass down knowledge. We have no blueprint. The Bushes got a blueprint. The Kennedys got a blueprint. The Rockefellers got a blueprint. Every wealthy family has a blueprint. We don't. You come out the womb, it's get it how you live. Absolutely, figure it out.
Yeah.
Right? So what happens now is it's now a prerequisite that every child that's born, everybody has to start a custodial account for that child. When that up until the age of 5, for every birthday, everybody who buys a gift, you have to buy a stock or have money of equal value to that gift. Right? What if that's now the mandatory? What if that now has to happen?
Yeah.
Right? What if that is now, okay, cool, every child has a custodial account. Here's the dope part about it. And so I did some knowledge, I did a lot of math, I'm a study king. Yeah. I learned that if you can make an investment of $100,000 for 26 years, you can make it $1 million. That same $100,000 for 17 years can be $1 million at 15%. That same $100,000 at 20 years, at 13 years, at 20% can now be $1 million. So what if we can now guarantee our kids are millionaires?
Yeah.
So we like, Trap, how am I gonna get 100,000? Well, check this out. Every time we get together for Christmas, every time we get together for New Year's, instead of just shooting the crap, let's figure out how we can create this family fund. Right? Everybody put $50 in. Right? Every time a kid is born and we putting that money there, we get $100,000 because $100,000 is not big as we think it is. Once we start understanding the power of money and leverage. Right? So now we can start guaranteeing millionaires in our family. A kid is born in 13 to 17 years, they're a millionaire.
That's different.
That's different.
Different. Yeah.
So for me, it's let me be the face of that. I don't care about nothing else because I now have the information. Conversation changes the compensation.
Big bar.
We start having different conversations. We stop telling our kids about, colors and dancing and start educating them on financial literacy early. My daughter, 5 years old, she know what assets is, she know what liabilities is, she know what stocks is, she know what dividends are, she know what shares are, she know what bull and bear markets are. This is important. This important. Like, what if we start changing that conversation? We now change the narrative of what they think. We now start having, instead of saying, well, babe, when I come home, what do we start having? Family dinners. And family dinners, we talking about finances. Like, we can't run from that. Financial literacy is what saves us.
Absolutely, yeah.
Because it's the lack of it is what has killed us.
Absolutely, yeah.
Right? So let's start making that cool.
Yeah.
Let's start saying, I don't have enough money to do this, and start saying, what I'm going to do after I've invested 60% of the money. Like, what if that becomes the option? Paying ourselves first no matter what. Let the bills come second. Right? Let the bills come second. Pay yourself first. I don't care what it is. 5%, 10% a week. Compound interest. Let that be the power. Right? So that's how it feels great to me knowing I've now acquired that knowledge that I can now give CPR to the people who look like me, talk like me, and been through what I've been through. That's powerful for me. That's powerful.
Woo! Man. And so now, somebody watching this right now, who it's their first time, man. Their first time, they don't know nothing about the stock market. They don't know, where to start. They don't know if it's stocks. They don't know what bonds are. They don't know if it's cryptocurrency. What's your advice? Like where should somebody start? And let's talk to the trappers, right?
Right.
Let's talk to the people because me coming from where I'm coming from, like that was it, right?
Yeah.
Like even if you show, sometimes even if you show the trappers what to do, if you're not speaking the language,
it's a fact.
right? They like, nah, you was able to do that, right? So like talk to the trappers for a second.
Right.
People who kind of still, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what? It sound good. He look like me. He know to talk. Where do I start?
So one of the best things to do is let's start with just looking at everything that you consume. Right? Let's just look at that. And let's make it simple. Let's say you have had every iPhone that dropped. Let's start with you doing this. Let's get on your iPhone and let's Google something called, let's just say, what is Apple's stock price? Like, that's simple. Let's get on the phone and say, what is Apple's stock price? Once you pull it up, it'll say AAPL or APPL. That's called a ticker symbol. And I like to say, that's a company nickname. Right? Let's start with there. Like, let's use the smartphone to do some smart stuff. Right? So let's let Google be our best friend. Because remember, we just started. I don't need you to learn how to research and all that right now. Right? I need you to develop the habit. Right? So let's just Google that. Right? So we get Apple's stock. Let's start there. Or if you're not really want to get into the stocks itself, there's this dope thing called ETFs. Right? And what ETFs are, it allows you to get a collection of stocks all at once.
An ETF, electronic trade funds?
Exchange traded fund, right? So now what you can do now is say, okay, you can own Apple, you can own Microsoft, you can own Google, you can own Amazon, all in one stock for a way cheaper price. And I think that helps you out a lot, right? So you can start with those individual stocks like Apple. Don't try to get the hot stock that everybody on. Like, you don't need to be there. One thing I've learned is that we're in a rush to get rich, but we don't have the patience to build wealth. Right? We don't have that. We rushing to get rich fast. Like, I need to get rich, but we don't have the patience to build wealth, and wealth happens over time. Right? And so what happens is, if we make the right investments, we add to our life. I wanted to be cool to say I'm 60 years old and I'm watching my daughter be 35. Like, I don't know too many dudes. I lost more people. I'm 38 years old, bro. I've been to more funerals than weddings. Right? So we start there. We start with just Googling whatever we consume. Like, if you wear Nikes, let's Google what's Nike ticker symbol. Like, I'm giving you basic steps here. What is Nike's ticker symbol? What is Nike's stock price? We Google everything else. Let's be simple. What is Nike's stock price? It'll come up on your Google. You'll see the ticker symbol. You'll see the price. So you're like, okay, Trap, how do I now buy my first stock? Like, all right, you told me to do that. How do I buy? All right, let's bare minimum. Let's say I don't even like it that much, but let's just start the Robinhood. We'll teach you how to transform and get to another brokerage later. Let's start with Robinhood, because I want you to create the habit. Because here's the dope part. Once you see the possibilities, it changes your life. Once I started buying my first set of stocks, I now felt what ownership felt like. I was like, oh, this is what ownership feel like. Cool. Now when I'm using the Apple phone, I don't mind saying, yo, this Apple phone dope, yo, because I want you to buy it so my stock price could go up. Right? So let's start simple. Let's start saying, let's own what we consume by owning shares in the Nikes. You watch YouTube, let's buy Google shares, because YouTube is owned by Google, which is the parent company of Alphabet. Right? You on Amazon all the time? Fam, let's buy the Amazon stock. Yeah. You on social media, Instagram, Facebook? Let's buy the Facebook stock. Here's a bar for people to know. The product is always higher than the stock.
Okay.
In most cases, the product is higher than the stock. So if you can be on Facebook, you could be on Instagram, clicking links, going to buying stuff, going to Shopify, let's own that stock.
And I love that, man. And so the one other thing though, right? Because you know, I think it makes perfect sense, right, to be able to invest in the things that we use already. But one of the things that I've always heard is like, nah, don't invest in stock because it's not secure, and you know what I mean. And so, what do you say to those people where even if you showing them the game, you telling them, you know, what the possibilities are, you know, people are not believing in the power of Wall Street, right? They're like, yo, every time I'm always hearing about, you know, Wall Street crashing or whatever the case may be. And so what ways, like, why should somebody be confident in the Wall Street game?
So this is what I like. I say this often.
Yeah.
In the streets, you make more money in a drought. Right? You make more money in a drought.
Yeah.
On Wall Street, you make more money when it crashes, if it crashes, when it corrects itself. Because now what you're able to do now is buy assets on sale.
That's a bar. Yeah.
Buy assets on sale.
Yeah.
So every year when Walmart and Target and Amazon has Black Friday sales, we run there.
Right.
Yo, I'm about to go get this TV. Yeah. I'm about to go spend $2,000-$3,000. I'm not buying no Christmas gift because it's Black Friday.
Right.
Right? So we rush to pay for liabilities.
Yeah.
Consumer mindset at its best.
For sure.
We rush to spend on liabilities, things that give us no value and things that don't add to our wealth. We see no return on.
Yeah.
When Wall Street decides to crash or corrects itself, which it always does, that's the time for us to say, oh, I'm about to triple my net worth right here.
Yeah.
So one of the things I teach people is to save to invest. So every week, if we put in 10% of our money in our investment account, if we doing that we don't gotta buy stocks all the time. But when it does do that, when that moment happens, now you change your life.
Big bar, yeah.
You change your life.
Yeah.
Because that's what they do.
Yeah.
See, the objective for this Wall Street game, the reason why I love it so much, because it reminds me of the streets so much.
Yeah.
It ain't no different. The dope, they're the real gangsters. Because they get to do it and go home. But they don't got to risk their life. They don't got to risk their time. They don't got to risk their freedom. They go home every day.
Yeah.
Right? So let's make the comparison. Right? Let's make this comparison.
Yeah.
In the streets, you have a good product. You market that product by being on a corner, giving somebody some freebies, doing 2-for-1s. You give them that. If it's good, they come back. That's the equivalent of your stock going up. Right? The more people I can say, nah, I'm rocking with what Trap got, because Ash Cash, his stuff, all right. Trap got that fire. My stock price went up. Yours went down a little bit. Still a good stock, but just not good as mine. Right?
Yeah.
And so here it is. That person tells someone else, yo, you need to invest in Trap.
Right.
Trap got that smoke.
Right.
Right? So it's marketing, it's branding, and then it's supply and demand. Right? So here's the thing. Your company is a good company. Still not bad. I'm the new one on the block. My product is good.
Right.
But here's what happens. Your product, your stock price went down, but that don't mean you're not a good company. Right? So this is what happens on the stock market. Just because the stock goes down doesn't mean it's not a good company.
Yeah.
You now just get a chance to buy it on sale. So here's what we do. You only lose money in the stock market when you sell it.
Facts.
That's the only time you lose.
Yeah.
So if you buy it at 50, it goes down to 40, and you sell, you just now lost.
Right, you realized your loss.
You realized the loss.
Yeah.
Whereas if you saw it at 50, it went to 40, you bought more at 40, you now took your cost basis down from 50 to about 45. So now instead of having to wait to 50 when you saw profit, you now see profit at 45. So let's say if you go from 40 to 35, don't sell. You now buy it again at 35. You now just bought your cost basis from 47 to about 40 now. So now you see profit at 40 instead of 50. Right?
Yeah.
You didn't lose.
Yeah.
The only reason people sell is because they haven't done the research, they haven't done the homework. They don't really believe in the business.
Yeah.
If I believe in the business, I ain't about to cash out. I want this to work for me forever.
Absolutely, yeah.
And if we look at the richest people in the world, the wealthiest people in the world, Jeff Bezos, Warren Buffett, Bill Gates, here's the trick to the game.
Yeah.
60% of all their wealth is tied up in stocks.
60%.
60.
Yeah.
It's why you can wake up one day, you see Amazon stock soaring, and you say, man, Jeff Bezos just added $17 billion to his net worth.
Right.
He ain't did nothing. He was on a golf course somewhere.
Facts. Yeah.
Amazon stock just went up $300.
Yeah.
He added $17 billion.
Yeah.
Feel me?
Yeah.
It's the reason why Elon Musk can go from $20 billion in 1 year to being the richest man in the world the next year is because Tesla stock goes from 300 to 900 in a 1 year time span.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That ain't got nothing to do with him working. And that got everything to do with people believing in his stock and that stock running.
Right.
That's what we tie our wealth to.
Yeah.
Long-term wealth.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care what else people do in the market. I don't care how else you build your wealth. Buying whole long-term stock should be the catalyst to your wealth.
Yeah.
Money that works for you, the next generation, rinse and repeat. Sell some profits, take them profits, put it in another great business.
Yeah.
Because America is in the business of creating new business that solve new problems.
Yeah.
There's always going to be a problem.
Right.
Some business is always going to have a solution, and then that business goes public, which means gets on the stock market, giving you an opportunity to buy in it.
Yeah.
You buy into that business, let that business work.
Yeah.
Rinse and repeat.
Yeah.
Family SOPs.
Yeah.
Let's revert back to that.
Right.
The blueprint to your family's wealth. Wall Street is a machine that prints money every day.
Absolutely.
All we got to do is put money in it. It's going to print freedom for us. We put money in, it prints freedom.
Yeah.
The money ain't worth nothing.
Right.
The money not worth what it's printed on.
Right.
So let's just use the money to buy assets and let the assets buy our time.
Yeah.
The more time we have, the more assets we can buy, the more freedom we can have. I want my kids to inherit freedom.
Right.
That's the goal, man.
Right. That's powerful. And so, like, man, it's so much. It's so much, right? So much to unpack, man. And one of the things that we've seen lately, there's a lot of hype around, cryptocurrency. There's a lot of hype around, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and I love your take, right? Like you have a specific take on crypto and kind of jumping on that. Talk to us a little bit about your feelings on that.
So I actually think crypto is just another asset class.
Yeah.
Right. And so what happens is the world will constantly evolve.
Yeah.
Like anything doesn't evolve, gonna die.
Facts.
Right? Blockbuster died out because they saw Netflix, they didn't want to buy it, they thought they was big dog.
Yeah.
Netflix said, nah, we are the future.
Right.
Right? And so the future, there's always a future. So the dope part about us and seeing the world is if we can sit back, and the dope part is as consumers, we can see the future because we seeing what's happening.
Yeah.
Right? So I think crypto is another asset class that every investor should have in their portfolio. But I just think you should understand. I'm not the person to invest in what I don't understand. I'm cool with that.
Yeah.
Like I don't listen, I put it in a too hard box.
Right. Yeah.
What this is, let me read it. I don't understand it. It go in the too hard box. I don't care if it go up 3,000%.
Yeah.
I didn't understand it.
Yeah.
I'm okay with it because what I do understand is what's going to build my wealth.
Right. Yeah.
Whatever I understand, I know to double down on.
Yeah.
Because what happens is confusion causes you to make scared moves. When you confused, you don't know what's next.
Yeah,
so you are erratic and you're like, all right, it's going on, let me sell.
Right,
because you don't understand what you invested in.
Right.
You only bought it because you heard somebody else talk about it.
Right. Yeah.
And what happens is you let someone else's beliefs fertilize your belief.
Yeah.
Right? You let what someone else say fertilize how you feel about something instead of tilling your own soil.
Yeah.
Right? So for me, I'm going to farm this ground.
Right.
I'm going to nurture it. I'm going to farm it. I'm going to plant what need to be planted so it can blossom how I need it to blossom.
Yeah.
Right? So when I see Bitcoin, I studied it. I was like, okay, let me study Bitcoin. Let me study Ethereum. Let me study Litecoin. Let me study Graph. Like, let me study it.
Yeah.
Right? So once I started studying, I went to saying like, okay, so a lot of stuff is connected to Ethereum.
Yeah.
Like, okay, so this is about to be the crypto highway.
Right.
I need to be here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, let me see what Bitcoin, I understand it, it's the biggest coin.
Right.
Okay, I need to be here.
Right.
Right, so now I'm gonna just buy into this. Like, and so what happened with the Dogecoin, I say, I don't understand it.
Right.
I don't care if it go up 15 million%.
Right.
I don't understand it.
Yeah.
I'm in the game of investing, not gambling.
Yeah.
I don't need a quick come up.
Right. Right.
I ain't in that phase of my life no more.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't need a quick come up.
Yeah.
So I'm cool with it. Like for everybody that hit, man, and that's the thing. I congratulate everybody on their wins because we need the wins to build confidence.
Right. Yeah.
Every win builds confidence that you can do it.
Yeah.
Again, Wall Street looks like us now.
Right, facts.
Because 5 years ago, everybody wasn't having let's get into crypto, let's get into stocks.
Yeah.
Everybody wasn't having it. It was like, no, let me take this money and put it under the mattress, yo.
Right.
Let me sit it in the bank, man.
Right.
Let the bank make all the money for it and pay me 0.1% a year every year.
Yeah.
I'm cool with that.
Yeah.
Like, that's what you're cool with.
Right.
That's what they taught you.
Right.
Here we are 5 years late, 5 years now. We in 2021 and people saying, yo, like, I'm in crypto.
Facts.
Man, I love that.
Facts. Yeah.
I'm in stocks. Man, I love that.
Facts. Yeah.
Right? I don't need to get the financial advisor. I'm going to do it myself.
Yeah.
That's the power.
Right.
Like the knowledge and the information, what happens is once it becomes digestible, we can eat off it for life. You teach a man how to fish, you feed him forever.
Yeah.
Family SOPs.
Right.
Like it all comes back to that for me. That blueprint for the
Right.
family. Like this has to be it.
Yeah.
I studied the Rockefeller, JP Morgan blueprint. And I'm like, yo, like I see what they doing here.
Yeah.
I see what they doing here.
Yeah.
All right, this is what I'm gonna do.
Yeah.
Like the successful people have left the blueprint for us.
Yeah.
Invest more, spend less.
Yeah.
Not saying you don't have to spend and enjoy your life,
Right.
but invest more than what you spend.
What you spend, right.
If you make $1 million, like make sure you can pay your taxes first. And that's another thing. People like, how do I duck taxes? Man, wealthy people, this is what wealthy people feel like, right? And this the people who I've talked to, they feel like this, yo. I don't mind paying Uncle Sam his money.
Right.
Right? I'm gonna find the laws were set for investors and entrepreneurs. Right? They get the tax breaks.
Right.
The working person the reason why the working person get taxed more is because I provided you a job.
Yeah.
The working class will always get taxed more because I provided you that job.
Yeah.
The man who provided you the job will get taxed less.
Right.
Because he is adding to the economy.
Right.
He is adding to the world.
Right.
We're gonna give you some benefits for that.
Yeah.
And we're not gonna even be mad at you.
Yeah.
And so now what happens is the working class get mad at people who pay less taxes.
Yeah.
Start a business.
Right. Yeah.
Pay less taxes.
Yeah.
Write everything off.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
we follow the blueprint and it's there for us.
Yeah.
So for me, that's financial literacy gonna save us.
Yeah, that's a fact.
It's gonna save us.
That's our only hope.
You got a job, use your job as your biggest investor.
Yeah.
Use your job as leverage. Everybody may not made to be an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
It's a lot of risk, a lot of holding, a lot of hard work, a lot of grind come with that.
Yeah.
But wealth and being an investor, there's no excuse for not that.
Yeah,
There's no excuse for that.
Yeah.
There's no excuse for it.
Yeah. Yeah.
The knowledge is here.
Yep.
There's no excuse for it. Man.
Yeah. No, I love that. Man, we could keep going
Nah,
and
this is
going,
me.
bro. We can keep going and
what I
going,
do.
man. And I definitely want people to tap in, man, because you have a wonderful program that you put together, and so we're gonna talk to the folks in a second and give them an opportunity to kind of join that world.
Yeah.
But so we inside the vault, right?
Yeah.
And so if we fast forward into now, you've created financial freedom for yourself, for your family. You've changed the trajectory, right?
Yes.
So like when you think about your grandma, your mom, that's it. It stopped with you, right? What would you say is the most extravagant thing you've done with money so far?
So I'm not really extravagant. I still keep my same hustler's roots, but it wasn't nothing crazy.
Yeah.
When I invested $100,000 for my daughter.
Yeah.
That was better than me buying my mom a house off, because I looked at it as my mom's already, I'm not saying she lived her life. My mom's 55, she's still young.
Yeah.
But this is the next generation.
Yeah.
So me putting $100,000 in my daughter's custodial account, I knew that was a game changer. So we can call it extravagant, we can not, but that was a game changer. Like saying, yo, here's $100,000 is in my daughter's custodial account. Let me make the right investments.
Right.
She gonna be a millionaire before she 18. That was a game changer for me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And then when we talk impact, right? Which might be one and the same, but what would you say is the most impactful thing you've done with money?
So there's a few things that happened for me.
Yeah.
Multiple things that happened for me. But I think one of the most impactful things was I spoke at one of my homies' conferences, and a dude came to me and he said, "Trap, I just got off death row." Wow.
Yeah.
He said, "And I listen to you every day, homie.
Wow.
Because of you, I know I could do this crap."
Wow.
I almost shed a tear right
I'm like,
there.
yo, right now, bro. I'm like goosebumping right now.
Like
Whoa.
that. And because what happens is my partner calls me, he like, yo, I want you, because I'm telling him like, yo, like, my next level is like speaking. Like I want to speak now. Like I want to get from behind the gram. I want to get in people's face. I want to talk to them. I want them to see them. I want them to feel my energy. The imagery and the words make it believable. And so I remember after I spoke at his event, maybe like 6 or 7 people came to me, and it's to make a grown man cry is different.
Yeah, facts. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And so when the man came to me with tears in his eyes, he was like, "Trap, like I just got off that road, bro. And I ain't know what to do." He was like, and I got to you and I heard him like, "Yo, he's speaking." He was like, "Bro, it's because of you. I know I could do this." That was up there. That was one of those that was one of those impactful moments, because what happened with impact is it comes when you least expect it.
Facts. Yeah.
Right? The impact is me getting on a gram every day, punching it. I don't know who I'm affecting. I don't know who's watching this. And then when that person sees me and says, "Yo, you changed my life." Nah, that's different. Because I know what I'm doing with my daughter.
Right.
I know what I'm doing with her. I know what I'm doing with my mama. I know what I'm doing with my homies in the streets. Like that's my goal.
Right. Yeah.
Those are people I know every day. Right? I slept with you in the trap house, bro. We slept on side of each other with choppers on the mattress, serving. Like I slept with you. I know what you doing. I know I gotta talk to you. That ain't nothing.
Right.
For somebody I don't know to come to me and say that, that was a game changer for me.
Absolutely, I love it. All right, we're gonna do a lightning round. We inside the vault, and so what we do is we three questions, right? Where we take banking terms and we flip them, right? And so right now, the first term we're gonna say is deposit slip. Deposit slip is when you go into the bank, you make a deposit, you put the money inside the bank, right? But for us inside the vault, deposit slip is a slip up, is a mistake, right? That you've made with money. And so what would you say is the biggest mistake you've made with money so far?
So I think the biggest mistake I've made with money was, hold up, let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Are we talking now or just overall?
Yeah, I mean, you know, overall, right?
All
so
right.
when you think about the totality of all the stuff you've done, when you think about, you know, even having a lot of money, a little,
yeah. So I think there's two things. One was let my money be in a bank, and two, I can say was being a consumer.
Yeah.
Right, and they work both ways.
Yeah.
The reason why I say let my money be in the bank was because as I realized that my money sitting in the bank, it does nothing for me but make the bank rich. Yep. So what happens, and let me say that in two ways.
Yeah.
So with putting your money in the bank, we realize that what the bank does is you know, they ask you want $1,000, we're gonna give you that $1,000 based on your adult report card.
Yeah.
Right, and that's your credit score, right? But they pay us little to nothing on that.
Yeah.
So once I learned I could do this though. Once I learned that I could own JP Morgan Bank stock, let them pay me dividends, so now they pay me for owning them, and then I can also start a business, get a JP Morgan business line of credit and a credit card where they give me $100,000 or $25,000, $50,000 on credit card. I've now turned my bank into a trap house.
The trap house is jumping.
The trap house jumping. Instead of me just sitting my money in a bank where they making all the money, nah, we're gonna flip the roles. I'm gonna own the bank, I'm gonna own the shares, you're gonna pay me dividends, I'm gonna open my business bank account with y'all, I'm gonna get the business credit card, I'm gonna get the business line of credit, and y'all gonna get, so now y'all working for me now. Y'all gonna work for me now. And here's something I done one time, let me say this right quick. So I remember I lost my business credit card. And so I called JP Morgan Chase and I was like, yo, I need y'all to ship me another card. This was when the pandemic first happened. And so it was like, well, Mr. Howard, it's gonna take us 7 to 10. I said, listen, man, call Jamie Dimon. Tell him I own 1,000 shares of Chase Bank. And let's see if he feels the same way about that. I got my card in 2 days.
Big facts.
Shareholders.
Yeah. And so funny you say that because, you know, as a former banker, it's a fact though, right? As a former banker, I would always tell people that, like, people used to come to me and be like, oh, I got this overdraft fee, can you reverse it and all that stuff? I'm like, listen, I'll be honest with you. Yo, we work for the shareholders.
That's a fact.
We work for the shareholders. like my job as a manager of this bank is to maximize profits, not for my customers, for my shareholders.
It's a leverage, man. That ownership is different.
Yeah.
That ownership is different. Like, that's the power of investing in stocks. Like, one of the hardest things to do in this world is have a successful business. It's one of the hardest things to do in this world. The easiest thing to do in this world is say, you got a successful business, let me get shares of it. Let me get a little piece of ownership in it. And now every time you get paid, let me get a little more ownership in this business. Let me get a little more ownership in this business. Let me get a little more ownership in this business. You know what? Let me get that ownership to my little one. You get ownership in that business. Before you know, you got 5,000, 10,000 shares of a business that you pass down because you've made it the habit. So that's one of the things is that, and it's not so much the bank itself, it's ownership, period. And the second one is, think about this. If you buy every iPhone, and then we just talking consumerism, like this is me, the worst thing, was just being a consummate consumer. Like being a professional consumer is horrible. Right? So let's think about this. You own an iPhone. You get it every time it upgrades. And we see the price keep going up. $1,000, $1,000. Right now, Apple stock is ranging between 126 and 133. You talking about 8 Apple shares for the price of one phone. What if every time you upgraded the phone, instead of upgrading the phone, you bought that many shares and you upgraded every 2 years? You feel me? So now you buying 8 shares, 10 shares every 2 years. Now let's talk even gangster about it. Like, let's make our money work for us even more so. Let's, instead of getting the Apple share, instead of getting the Apple dividends, so the dividends and the profit that the company pays you as an investor, let's automatically reinvest the dividends. So now, if you had, let's say 15 shares, 20 shares of Apple, now that dividend buys you another share of Apple. So what if we can now say we own Apple, we reinvest in the dividends, and now the dividends are also buying us another share of Apple. I want to maximize my money. I want to maximize. Like, I want everybody work. I want Tim Cook. I want everybody working for me. I'm Big Trap, man.
Big Trap. Big Trap. Yo, second term charge off, right?
All
and
right.
so charge off, you got money in it, credit card gives you money. They can't get their money, got to charge it off. But in your journey, right? So now you Big Trap in your journey. What type of people or mindsets did you have to charge off?
The first one was chasing money.
Yeah.
I think what happens is in the streets you are taught to chase money.
Yeah.
Right? We always after it.
Yeah.
I started chasing freedom.
Yeah.
I started chasing freedom.
Yeah.
And so what I did was I started telling myself the most important financial decision you will ever make in this world is how much of your income you're gonna make work for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
You go work for it every day.
Yeah.
You go out there, you go grind, you get up in the morning, you drive to work, you go when you don't want to go, you take BS from the boss, you got an employee that somebody you work with you don't like, y'all getting into it. Cool.
Yeah.
What's the reward from that?
Yeah.
And it has to be more than just the paycheck.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because the paycheck gonna pay the bills.
Right.
So now, how much of this paycheck are you now gonna make work for you?
Yeah.
Because what happens is, you can't work 24 hours.
Yeah.
Your money can.
Yeah, facts. Yeah.
Every time somebody go to Amazon, you making me money.
Yeah.
Right? Somebody's on Amazon every day, all day.
Absolutely. Yeah.
You making me money. You on that Apple phone, you making me money.
Yeah.
You Googling something on YouTube, you making me money. You feel me?
Yeah.
So for me, it's how much of this paycheck, how much of that earned income are you gonna turn into a portfolio income?
Yeah.
So once I stopped chasing money, I started chasing the freedom. And then that changed how I looked at life, because here's the thing. How do I own my whole 24 hours?
Yeah.
Time equity.
Yeah.
I challenge everybody who watching this to say, how much time do I own? How much of my 20, like let's be realistic with ourselves.
Yeah.
Like I get up every day, Ash. I get up every day, King, and say, damn, it feels good to own my 24 hours.
Yeah. It's different.
It's different.
Yeah, it's a different type of
right?
feeling.
And I don't take it for granted.
For sure.
So now I'm investing heavy
Yeah.
because I never want to give them it back.
Right.
I never want to give it back to them.
Right. Yeah.
Right? So now I got to keep on investing.
Yeah.
Like I'm learning, you don't get the knowledge and say I got enough knowledge.
Right. You keep learning.
You keep learning.
So you can buy more time.
So I can buy more time.
Right.
So I want to keep buying my time. Right
Yeah.
now I probably got about 10, 15 years worth of time
Right.
bought.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I want to turn that to 20.
Yeah.
I want to turn it to 30.
Right.
I want to die and let my kids inherit what I had. Roll over time.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
All right, last one. Trust account, right? So a trust account is where you put your assets, you allow it to to dictate and build for you, right? In your journey, who would you say is part of your trust account, right? Though your team, the people that you confide in, the people that help you, be who you are.
Man, I have so many people
Yeah.
in my trust account because I remember quitting my job, going to sleep on my great aunt's sofa for a year to build this business.
Yeah.
Right? But one of the most important things was my bro from Hood Estates. His name Pocky, man.
That's out there.
That's my bro.
Yeah.
He helped me in the beginning. I remember when I quit my job, this before we was even like cool like we was now. We was just cool.
Yeah.
He called me on the phone and he says, I need to meet you because God told me to tell you something.
Ooh.
And I can't tell you over the phone. So mind you, I'm in street mode. I'm like, man, I'm not about to go fly to meet no dude, man. That ain't even what I'm doing, right? So he hit me again, like a week later, he like, bro, like when you come and see me. I'm like, man, I'm gonna come, man, come holler at you.
Yeah.
And then I remember Nip passed away. I bought your book.
Salute.
Nip passes away. I buy your book. I go fly to Cali. I get this like thing, and I'm just like, damn, like it could be gone. You can be pushing a culture.
Yeah.
You can be a cultural icon, and it could be gone.
Yeah.
And I remember calling my bro, like, bro, I'm gonna come fly out there.
Yeah.
And I remember going out there to see him, and we had a conversation. And I remember it was 2:00 in the morning, and I just unloaded some stuff to him. And he said, bro, I knew you was gonna come tell me that. God already told me.
Wow.
You've been holding it for so long.
Wow.
That weight is keeping you down.
Wow.
And he nurtured me on my journey. Wow. He nurtured me like till this day.
Yeah.
So he is a pivotal point.
Wow.
In the Wall Street Trapper.
Yeah.
Not as a brand.
Yeah.
As a person.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, bro, we need them people that nurture us.
Absolutely.
And so just him and his wife, they nurture me, man. They nurture me. Yeah. For sure.
Yo, listen. This was a powerful, powerful interview. I mean, I could literally listen to you for 3-4 hours, bro. I want everybody who is watching this episode, tap in. You know what I mean? Wall Street Trapper, aka Big Trap. I want you to tap into the community. He's created. Tell him a little bit about the Family Trap. The program. We have a special offer.
Yeah.
Go to BigTrapVault.com. So BigTrapVault.com. But tell them a little bit about what they can expect.
So what we gonna do? With the Wall Street Trapping course, man, and that's what we're gonna put in BigTrapVault.com, man. It's gonna give them a blueprint on how to go from A to Z in the market, man. Yeah. How to invest with confidence, how to learn how to break a business down, how to make more money in a drought, man. Yeah. Right? Yeah. And it's wrote and it's filmed and recorded in a language that they can understand. Yeah. And I pride myself on making simple even simpler, right? Because I want it to be digestible for us. And then we have the community, Trappers Anonymous, where we just do every Monday through Friday, we doing something. Sundays, we have live classes, we have book clubs, and we bring a financial expert in every month to teach them something different because it boils back down to them family SOPs. I don't want to just teach you stocks. I want to bring somebody that's going to teach you credit, somebody to teach you about trust, somebody to teach you about event space, somebody to teach you about starting your own business. I want you to be equipped. Right? I want you to have that Swiss Army knife, that blueprint, so you can go through the world and understand what it takes to build wealth. So those two are like my go-tos, and we're going to throw that trapping course in that BigVault.com, man.
Yo, BigTrapVault.com. Yo, make sure you tap in. Make sure you tune in. If people want, like I said, if you don't know this man by now, then I don't know what to tell you. But if somebody wanted to connect with you, where can they find you?
Yeah. So we on Instagram, Wall_Street_Trapper. We on YouTube, Wall Street Trapper. Tap in. Listen, we just making trap houses jump. That's what we do. We using all 4 corners of the bag, man. You dig?
Yeah. All right, so this is another awesome episode of Inside the Vault with Ash Cash. We are closing down the vault. Make sure you tap in. Make sure you tune in. Tell a friend and tell a friend. Look, I know for a fact, I'm not even guessing. I know for a fact that this episode has moved you. And so I need you to share this interview with everybody that you think that can be impacted by this interview. Tell a friend and tell a friend. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. We're going to see you next time with another powerful interview, another powerful episode of Inside the Vault with Ash Cash. I'm going to see you next time in God's will. Same time, same place. All right. Peace.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. You won't ask cash, you can catch it right here in the vault.